your snake plant's sitting there doing absolutely nothing for months. Those droopy leaves and yellowing tips aren't a lost cause. I'm sharing 10 secrets that transformed my own struggling snake plants into thriving showpieces, and number 1 completely changed how I care for all my houseplants. These aren't your average beginner tips. 10. Bright light wins. Here's what nobody tells you about snake plants and light. Everyone calls them low light champions, but that's actually the biggest lie in houseplant care. Sure, they'll survive in a dark corner, but survive and thrive are completely different stories. Snake plants originally come from the sunny savannas of West Africa, where they soak up serious sunlight daily. Move your plant to the brightest spot in your home and watch what happens. We're talking at least 6 hours of light, preferably near an east-facing window for gentle morning rays, or a few feet back from south or west-facing windows. The difference shows up fast with stronger upright leaves and richer colour. But here's the catch. If your plant has been living in dim conditions, don't shock it with sudden bright light, or those leaves will fade and look washed out. Train it gradually over 2 weeks, adding a couple hours of brighter exposure each day. Think of it like getting a tan instead of a sunburn. During darker winter months, even a simple LED grow light for a few hours makes a massive difference. Your snake plant will actually start growing instead of just existing. 9. Watering less often. Most snake plants don't die from neglect. They die from too much love, specifically too much water. Those thick sword-like leaves store moisture like little reservoirs, which means your plant doesn't need frequent drinks like your other houseplants do. The game changer here is the finger test. Stick your finger at least 2 inches deep into the soil. Feels dry? Time to water. Still damp? Wait a few more days. This simple habit prevents the silent killer called root rot that turns those beautiful leaves into mushy disasters. Seasons matter more than you'd think. During spring and summer, when your plant is actively pushing out new growth, you might water every 2 to 3 weeks. Come fall and winter, when everything slows down, once a month or even every 6 weeks works perfectly fine. Some of my snake plants go 2 months between waterings in winter and look incredible. When you do water, make it count. Drench the soil thoroughly until water runs out the drainage holes, then empty that saucer immediately. Never let your plant sit in standing water. This thorough then dry approach keeps roots healthy and leaves standing tall. 8. Fast draining soil. Your watering schedule might be perfect, but if your snake plant looks sad, check what it's sitting in. Standard potting soil is actually terrible for these plants because it holds way too much moisture. Snake plants evolved in sandy, quick-draining environments, not swampy bogs. The secret is creating your own custom soil mix that drains fast while letting roots breathe properly. Here's the simple recipe that changed everything for me. Mix 2 parts regular potting soil with 1 part coarse sand and 1 part perlite or pumice. Sounds fancy, but you can grab these at any garden centre for under $15 total, and it'll make enough mix for several plants. This blend does something magical. When you water, excess moisture drains quickly instead of sitting around the roots creating a bacteria party. The chunky texture also provides air pockets that roots absolutely love. Every time you repot, gently brush off the old compacted soil clinging to the roots and replace it with fresh mix. This gives your plant a nutrient boost and prevents that dense, suffocating soil problem. Once I switched to this mix, my snake plants started producing pups like crazy. It's like giving them a completely new lease on life. 7. Regular rotation. Plants are surprisingly predictable. They always bend toward the strongest light source, which means if you never move your pot, you'll end up with a lopsided mess leaning awkwardly to one side. Not exactly the sculptural look we're going for. The fix takes about 5 seconds every 2 weeks. Give your snake plant a quarter turn, just 90 degrees. That's it. This simple habit ensures every side gets equal light exposure, encouraging those leaves to grow straight up instead of doing the leaning tower routine. Want to make this even easier? Stick a small dot or piece of tape on one side of the pot so you always know which way it was facing last time. No more guessing if you already rotated it this month or if that was last month. This trick becomes especially important if your plant sits near a window where light comes from one direction. Regular rotation prevents that stretched out reaching look and keeps your plant looking perfectly symmetrical from every angle. If you love showing off your plants on social media or just want them to look great in your space, This is your secret weapon for picture-perfect leaves that stand tall and proud. Which of these secrets surprised you the most? Or do you have a snake plant care hack that's worked wonders for you? 6. Natural leaf shine. Those glossy leaf shine sprays at the store seem tempting, but they're actually sabotaging your plant. Most commercial sprays leave a sticky film that clogs the pores on your plant's leaves, making it harder for them to breathe and photosynthesize properly. It's like putting plastic wrap over your plant's skin. The natural solution costs nothing and works better. Grab a soft microfiber cloth, dampen it slightly with plain water, and gently wipe down each leaf front and back. This removes dust instantly and brings back that healthy natural sheen without any chemicals or residue. Here's the upgrade trick I stumbled on by accident. Once a month, add just 2 drops of olive oil or coconut oil to your damp cloth and buff those leaves gently. The light oil layer makes them shine like they've been professionally polished, plus it actually repels dust for longer. Your plant looks stunning, and you're not harming it in the process. Dust buildup is more serious than it looks. It blocks light from reaching the leaf surface, which slows down photosynthesis and growth. Regular wiping keeps your snake plant breathing easy and looking like a showpiece centerpiece instead of a forgotten corner decoration. 5. Perfect pot choice. Let's talk about the container holding your plant, because this choice affects everything from watering to root health. Drainage holes aren't optional, they're absolutely non-negotiable. Without them, water pools at the bottom, creating a swamp that rots roots faster than you'd believe. Terracotta pots are my personal favourite for snake plants. They naturally absorb excess moisture through the clay, which gives you a built-in safety net against overwatering. Plus they're affordable, usually around $8 to $15 depending on size. But here's where function meets style. You don't have to stick with boring nursery pots. Keep your snake plant in a basic plastic pot with drainage, then slip that inside a decorative outer pot made of ceramic, painted clay, or even woven baskets. Just make sure there's space at the bottom for airflow and drainage. Treat your pot choice as an extension of your home decor. Going for minimalist vibes? Clean white ceramic looks sharp. Want something with personality? Textured clay or colourful glazed pots add character. The right container doesn't just create the perfect growing environment, it turns your snake plant into a statement piece that elevates your entire room. 4. Easy propagation. Want to turn one snake plant into 5 or 10 without spending a dime? This propagation method feels like magic, and it's ridiculously simple. Most people do basic leaf cuttings, but here's the upgrade that multiplies your results. Take a healthy leaf and slice it into smaller sections, each about 3 to 4 inches long. Here's the crucial part. Place these cuttings upright in a jar of water with just the bottom inch submerged. Set it somewhere bright, but away from direct harsh sunlight. Each little section can sprout its own roots and eventually push out new baby plants called pups. That means one single leaf gives you multiple plants instead of just one. Change the water every few days to keep it fresh and clear. Nobody wants algae soup. Within a few weeks, you'll see tiny white roots forming, followed by those exciting green shoots emerging. Once roots reach about 2 inches long, transfer them into that well-draining soil mix we talked about earlier. Label your jars with the start date. Tracking progress turns this into a fun science experiment right on your windowsill. And honestly, watching those roots develop is kind of addictive free plants you can gift, trade, or spread throughout your home. 3. Plant grouping. Snake plants don't technically need high humidity, but clustering several plants together creates something interesting. As plants naturally release moisture through their leaves, they form their own tiny microclimate with slightly higher humidity. It's like they're creating their own little ecosystem. Group your snake plant with other houseplants like pothos, peace lilies, or ferns, and you'll notice the difference. Leaf tips stay fresher, they don't dry out as quickly, and everything just looks healthier overall. The humidity boost is gentle but noticeable. Beyond the practical benefits, grouped arrangements transform a boring corner into a lush green oasis instantly. Mix snake plants of different heights together, or pair them with trailing plants for depth and visual interest. It's like designing your own miniature jungle without any fancy equipment. Here's a pro move that amplifies the effect. Place your grouped plants on a decorative tray filled with pebbles and a shallow layer of water. As that water evaporates, It adds even more humidity to the surrounding air. The pebbles keep pot bottoms elevated, so roots never sit in water, avoiding that dreaded root rot. Grouping improves your plant's environment while making your space feel calmer and more grounded. Win-win. 2. Rescue dying plants. A dying snake plant isn't always a lost cause. Before you toss it, let's figure out what's actually wrong, because the fix might be simpler than you think. Start with diagnosis. Mushy collapsing leaves usually mean root rot from too much water. Crispy folding inward leaves signal severe dehydration. Knowing the difference is everything. For root rot, carefully unpot the plant and inspect those roots. Healthy ones look firm and white. Rotten roots are brown, soft, and smell absolutely terrible. Using clean scissors, cut away every bit of rot you see. Don't be timid here, leaving even small rotten sections spreads the problem. Let the roots dry out for a few hours, then repot in fresh, well-draining soil. Here's a trick that works surprisingly well. Sprinkle a bit of cinnamon powder on the cut roots before replanting. It's a natural antifungal that helps prevent new infections from starting. If dehydration is the culprit, the fix is much easier. Water deeply and move the plant to bright indirect light. Within a week or two, those wrinkly leaves should firm back up. Even if some leaves are too far gone, cut off healthy sections and propagate them in water. The plant's legacy continues. 1. Smart feeding. Snake plants get labelled as low maintenance, which tricks people into thinking they never need fertilizer. But strategic feeding actually supercharges their growth in ways you'll notice within weeks. Feed during the growing season only, spring and summer, about once every 4 to 6 weeks. Use a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer, like 10-10-10 or 20-20-20 mix. Here's the critical part though, always dilute it to half the recommended strength. Snake plants are sensitive and full-strength fertilizer burns their roots, causing more harm than good. Come fall and winter, stop fertilizing completely. Your plant naturally slows down during these months, almost like it's resting. Feeding during dormancy doesn't help growth, it actually stresses the plant and can damage roots. Add this bonus habit to your routine. Once a month, give your snake plant a gentle shower under lukewarm water. This washes away accumulated dust and catches tiny pests before they become infestations. Just make sure the pot drains completely afterward. Never let it sit in standing water. This seasonal feeding approach keeps your plant growing strong without overwhelming it. You'll see thicker leaves, richer colour, and more frequent put production. It's like giving your plant exactly what it needs when it needs it. These 10 secrets turn my struggling snake plants into thriving specimens that constantly produce new growth. Start with just 1 or 2 changes and watch the difference unfold over the next few weeks. If you love this video, you'll love the next one more. Drop a comment below and tell me what's been your biggest struggle with growing plants in your garden.